Hello, everybody. I'm Keith Jones. I'm a real estate entrepreneur in the metropolitan area of Atlanta, Georgia since 1997. I lost you for a second. Let me tell you briefly, let me tell you quickly about my story, and then if you've read the heading, you know that I'm looking to establish business relationships with experienced wholesalers all around the United States. We buy in 25 cities and in 13 states. And I cannot be in all those cities and states at one time. This is not about competition. This business is about cooperation. Wholesaling is a special business. It's very special. It's a great way to start your real estate career with obviously with no cash, no credit, or very little cash. Most of you guys are having to drive for dollars and do mailers and things of that nature. And what I'm looking to share with you today, you need none of that. But let me tell you briefly about me. I started in real estate in 1997, buying them to hold them in East Point, Georgia. Originally born and raised in the Motor City, Detroit. Our Lions are having a bad year, and it won't be the first, and probably won't be the last. But anyway, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Moved down here in Georgia in 1991. Went to real estate in 1997. Went full time in 1999. But let me tell you how I accidentally got started as a wholesaler. It was totally by accident. We started to buy properties in East Point, Georgia, buying them to hold them, and around Atlanta, to buy them to hold them, to rent them out. I was trying to figure out how to get the heck out of the postal service. Was a job that I hated. So I started buying real estate, figuring that eventually I'd have enough properties to have income to retire from. And as we got about 4 or 5 of those, I was starting to get tired of that part of the business. The tenants were starting to become a headache. I was trying to manage it myself. That was the problem. And of course, start with 2, 3, 4. You probably best to start managing them yourself. You don't really make enough money to pay for a manager. So that's what I was doing, and that was starting to become a challenge. And I just knew I'd never stop, because you never lose. Put it like this: you never are a loser or until you quit. You can never fail until you stop. As long as you try, you have opportunities to win. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. I'm sure you've heard that before. So anyway, as I was dealing with these rental properties, managing and looking for more, trying to build that portfolio, I got a property under contract in East Point, Georgia for 20 grand. Got it under contract for $20,000. Was my intent was to buy it. I mean, it was to close on it, of course, renovate it and rent it out, probably Section 8. We had a few Section 8s at the time and had a few regular rentals at the time. And the Section 8 was actually the biggest challenging. For those people were just a challenge. So, but there was an investor on that street that was doing some renovation. He was renovating some duplexes, actually right next door to this house that I had under contract. And I had never met him, but across the street, I over at the house one time, and I met with a neighbor and asked him to keep an eye on the house until I closed. Gave him one of my business cards. And a few days later, a guy called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, man, you want to sell this house over here in East Point?" And he introduced himself, a guy named Joe. And Joe and I reach out to each other to this day every once or twice a year. But anyway, so Joe wanted that house. He said, "Hey, you want to make $5,000?" Well, I told him what I was getting it for. I got it under contract. He said, "What do you want to sell this house?" I said, "Well, I don't own it yet, so I don't think I can sell it. I had no idea about wholesaling. I was totally green. Only thing I knew was buy them, to hold them, to rent them out. And believe it or not, there's still a lot of investors out there who do not know or understand wholesaling, especially real estate agents. Most real estate agents do not understand wholesaling. That's why they're not crazy about us, because we basically do what they do without all of the restrictions that they have on covering their license and so on. But so I told him, I said, well, I don't own it, so I don't think I can sell it. He said, you want to make $5,000? I'm like, yeah, I want to make 5 grand. I was still working full time with the postal service right then, and $5,000 sound like a lot of money, which it still is to this day. So he said, well, meet me at the house. He had called me because he had my number, got my number from that neighbor with my business card. So I met him at the house, and I had the key because I had given back in the day. This was in 1998. We used to write the earnest money checks directly to the sellers, and you don't do that anymore. We're not going to do that, and because the problem with that is if you write an earnest money check to a seller and first find out he's not the actual owner, you got a problem. But we were taking that chance back in the day. The only real problem, really, that most of us would run into if someone had title issues and we couldn't close. Believe me, when you wrote them a check for $500, they were going straight to the bank to cash, or the liquor store, wherever they cash checks, and spending it, so you weren't going to get that money back. So we don't do that anymore. Earnest money goes directly to the closing attorney's escrow account. But at that time, this gentleman, when I gave him the earnest money check when I was going to buy this property, he gave me a key to the property, and so I had a key to come and go and do what I need to do. Again, planning to close. Joe wanted to see the property. I had the key. I took him over there. I met him over there, let him in. He liked it, and we did a purchase and sales agreement, which I was quite familiar with, and then we did an assignment agreement. Assignment agreement was totally brand new to me, but we did it. I figured it out. It basically stated that I'm going to make 5 grand over the top of the 20 grand, $25,000. Joe was going to be paying for the house. I was making five, and so Joe's last words to me that day was, "Make sure the seller comes to closing." And I'm like, okay. And I really had no expectations. I'm thinking, well, because Joe gave me a check for $500 earnest money, and I'm thinking, if nothing else, I got my earnest money back. We're gonna still close on the house, and so I deposited Joe's check. But lo and behold, about 2 weeks later, we closed on the house. They cut the gentleman. We had the property under contract. I had the property under contract with. They cut him a check for 20 grand, probably minus some taxes. They cut me a check for 5 grand gross total, and I was hooked. I started finding Joe as many properties as I could, and I started to think, man, if there's one guy out here like him looking for more properties, there's got to be more. And that's when it dawned on me. I just started running dummy ads in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, what we call the AJC. They used to be newspapers. Now you can do everything online. And that's how I started building my buyers list. I would run a dummy ad, and I would find a hot area of Metro Atlanta, and I would tell them that I have a house for sale in that particular zip code or on that street. And when people would call from the dummy ad, I would say, that house just went under contract, but I got more coming. You want to be added to my buyers list, and it took off from there. So that went very well. So I'm wholesaling to Joe. I'm wholesaling to others that are going to come on my buyers list. And by early 1999, I was able to quit my job at the Postal Service. I got a quad, a 4-unit apartment building, which is a quad. I got it under contract in Grant Park. And I got it under contract for $69,900. I sold it 30 days later for $99,900, making 30 grand. And today, believe me, Grant Park, that house is worth probably well over $1 million. It was a 4-unit apartment building. So that was, again, 1999. This is 2021 as I make this video. And 2021 as I make this video. That house, I'm sure, Grant Park is probably worth well over $1 million. But, I didn't cry over it. I made 30 grand at the time, and I was grateful, thankful, and blessed. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise. So I kept it moving, and I quit my job after that, and I went full-time wholesaling. From there, I started doing some fixing and flipping. By 2004, we started doing new construction. 2008 came around, and we lost everything. Everything fell apart. No one could buy the houses that we were building. No one could buy them. We stopped building, and we lost everything. But I came back into the business very strong as a wholesaler and went back into fixing and flipping. I haven't done any new construction and probably won't. My focus now is commercial real estate. And so, but again, I'm doing this video to invite all and any experienced, I'm really looking for experienced wholesalers to partner with in some of these cities and states that we're doing business in. I can't be in all of them at one time. There's a lot of money on the table. This business is not about competition. This is about cooperation. If we cooperate with each other, we can make a lot of money. I need to be forming alliances with people in Birmingham, Alabama, Charlotte, North Carolina, Columbus, Ohio, Dallas, Texas, Denver, Colorado, Fort Myers, Florida, Greensboro, North Carolina, Houston, Texas, Indianapolis, Indiana, Jacksonville, Florida, Kansas City, Missouri, Louisville, Kentucky, Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Orlando, Florida, Palm Bay, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Raleigh, North Carolina, San Antonio, Texas, Seattle, Washington, St. Louis, Missouri, Tampa, Florida, Tucson, Arizona. Those are the cities that I have a aggressive buyer in. These guys are buying. Now they're interested in properties that are practically move-in condition. And believe me, that shouldn't be a problem for most wholesalers, because that's why I'm looking for experienced wholesalers. The average wholesaler is only making money off 5% of their marketing campaign. The other 95% just don't fit the bill to be a wholesale deal. You're not getting them at 60, 70 cents on the dollar. But the buyer that I'm teamed up with, it's a corporate buyer that I'm teamed up with, they're buying retail prices. You guys are running into properties that people want to sell retail price and you can't make it work. We can help you with that. That's what this is all about. My buyer is buying retail prices in retail condition. They're not going to buy a retail price property that's falling apart. But if it's in move-in condition and someone's asking retail price, we're selling them left and right, left and right. I'm having a great year. Having a great month. We've got we've got more on the table. I have doing this video. This is probably my third, maybe fourth time of doing this YouTube live. I've had a handful of people come on board, so people are coming in and helping out. And you don't have to drive for dollars. You're not doing mailers. You will be. You got to do phone calls. We're doing phone calls, but I'm giving you once we do an interview, I'll share with you who we call to get these move-in condition properties, if you're a currently a experienced wholesaler, you probably already have some of those deals in some of those cities that you can make some immediate cash on. So it's all about cooperation. This is not competition. We can all make money together. Your money, your fee will be cut directly to you on the HUD, from the HUD, wired to you, mailed to you, and whatever city that you work from and in. But I need some help, really. I wish I could be that greedy. Actually, I don't. I'm not a greedy person, but there's so many. 25 cities I have access to work in, and you don't have to go see the properties. We don't have to. This corporate buyer that I partner with, they send out their own inspection company, a third-party inspection company. You don't have to. Not one house that I've sold them in the last handful of months that I've actually seen. Not one. Maybe pictures of it. I may Google a picture of it and see what it looks like on Google Earth or whatever. But I don't have to go out, take a walk around it. I don't have to walk through it. And I just don't have to. And they're buying them. And I'm looking to share this opportunity with experienced wholesalers. I prefer experienced wholesalers because you guys already understand the process. You're going to be making some calls, and most of you probably already have call centers. You can set this up at your call centers to call these holders of these types of properties that are in move-in condition. For those who may even have a stack of them in your lead list that you just know they don't meet the criteria of a wholesale deal, you're leaving money on the table. I want to help you get that money off the table. So I'm Keith Jones, and I'm looking finishing this year strong. Let's finish 2021 strong. Let's go into 2022 with some $1 million bank accounts. Some heavy cash. I need your help. Let's help each other carry this, as the young people call it, this bag to the bank and make some deposits and take it to the next level. By the way, for me, the next level is commercial, doing residential real estate again since 1997. We're taking our income from these wholesale deals to use it for down payments for commercial real estate. Self storage, to be exact, is my baby. Anyway, this is Keith Jones. You can, I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube, obviously, right now. I don't know if we haven't done anything in Instagram in a while, but this is not, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to share opportunity with you. I'm not trying to, this is not about a wholesale course or none of that, even though I do teach it. But that's not my focus, especially right now. It's let's feed this monster that I have here. Help me out, y'all. Come on aboard. I need partners. We want to build a team. I need 25 experienced, aggressive wholesalers. Let's feed this monster. You guys have a great evening. I look forward to hearing from you. I don't know how and when my team will post this, but there's probably an email. There's going to be a link here and an email address there. They don't give out my phone numbers, but if once you reach out to us, I'll call you back and we can take it from there. I'm Keith Jones, aka the six-figure real estate wholesaler, aka the OG of Atlanta wholesaling. Anyway, I look forward to anybody who's ready to get busy. Thanks.